everyone, welcome to Blues Piano Volume 2, Every Single Lick. Blues Volume 1 and every lick was really popular, and I told you guys I was going to do Volume 2. So let's dig right in. Before I do, let me say a couple of things. I made this resource available along with Blues Volume 1. This is the only two courses that are for sale at imusicacademy.com. There's a link in the description. You don't have to get it. I am actually giving you every single lick, how to play every single lick. This will be a flyby overview. I'll have the music up on the screen. I don't know how hard it will be to see it. But I just want you guys to see what it's like for me, the way I like to teach, and also to encourage you with 10 new blues licks. Actually, these are some of my older courses, just so you know, being very transparent, but the music is timeless, and I practice these licks almost every day, and I want to encourage you to do the same. So here we go. Let's dig right in. So the very first lick is sort of 3 licks in one, and I'll actually use play-along tracks as well. So think about this as a solo piano version where you're doing... And then we'll do a trio version where I have trio voicings for the left hand, so the bass player does his thing. Another important thing before we get started is I'm recording this lesson so that after the live session I can go and get this down to about a 15 to 20 minute video. So you'll sometimes hear me repeat something, or I might mess up something I'm trying to say. Also, I kind of have a bad shoulder, so I'm definitely going to miss a lot in the right hand, but that's okay. We're going to keep rolling. All right, here we go. The very first thing is example 1. So this clickable index, we just click the one we're working on, and this lick has 3 licks in one. It's just a longer version of some of the things we've already been working on. So the very first thing, you're doing C to E flat to E, our minor third to major third, with a very generic but very popular lick, the C6 lick. So sometimes I'll just take this one idea, and sometimes I do the octave and then I do the A. So let me turn on the track, because this is too fun not to play along with this, with just that one idea even. Listen to this, and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Left hand, I'm just doing 3 flat 7 and 9 to our F13. Back to C. F, and maybe a little walk down, C, B flat, chromatically down. Let's do that one more time, 3 and 4. All right, let me stop this for just a second. Let's work on the second part of the lick. So the first part, you can actually start here. You can start it here, you can start it anywhere on the piano. But then if you start it here, then it comes up to the second part of the lick, which is minor third to major third, just up the octave. And you do fingering 2, 1, 2, 3, up to G and B flat. So I call this kind of a Cruella de Vil type, Cruella de Vil, and it goes to G and B flat. This is the second part of the lick. So just like we practiced the first part of the lick, the second part is a lick in itself, right? So let's actually play that with the track. Just that one idea. So we're really focusing down on the second part. Here we go, C9. And it goes G to B flat to the 4 chord, which is F, A. Same thing on F, watch. One more time, just the first 2 parts. Again. Same thing on F. Minor third to major third. Again, C. G. down chromatically. All right, now let's stop this for a second. The third part of this one lick, this is just our first lick, is my favorite. Oh, very difficult? Okay. All right, well, just watch the video and I think you'll be okay. Thank you, by the way. All right, so the third part of the lick is this. You have your minor third to major third, but my second inversion triad, my absolute favorite triad, and you do, so we have this, and right here, this right here, and you have the sheet music, is simply this. Second inversion triad, minor third to major third, and then the triad down. Notice that I'm holding the top note. Give it a little flavor having that G at the top. Also, notice that I'm isolating this part of the lick. So if I want to find this lick on any key, if I want to find it on G, I say, all right, what's the second inversion triad of G? G, B, D, B, D, G, D, G. My favorite inversion is right there. So then I go, and there it is right there, and the fifth's on top. So that's sort of my shortcut of knowing how to get there. I know this is going to be minor third to major third, and I know it's going to have the second inversion triad. And I could just practice this for days, and I know I'm going to get a lot done. Let me turn on the track and show you what I mean about practicing. Focusing in on small amounts of material. Here we go. I could go... How about up here? Same thing. Same thing on G. Now I'm going to put the whole lick together. 3 parts. Here we go. All right, you get the idea. Now, the great thing about my courses is that even though these are older courses, again, it's absolutely relevant today. I will continue to use these licks. They're so important. They're part of the vocabulary that we use as blues musicians or jazz musicians. But it's timeless. It's just the same thing you learn bebop material from 50 years ago, 60 years ago, or longer. It's just really important music that needs to be around. This minor third to major third, you're going to always do. Even licks like this. I'll never stop playing this kind of stuff because it helps you transition minor third to major third. When we do our Ray Charles trainings, minor third to major third. When we do triplets, all minor third to major third. So when I do a lick like this, minor third to major third. Okay, enough about that. Let's go on to example 2, which I think you're going to love even more than this first lick. Let me pull up my music here. Okay, so scrolling down here, we're getting to volume 2, example 2. This is probably one of our most requested licks, and it was in our video that went to 1 million views, right? It was my first 1 million view video, and one of the reasons is because it had this lick. Okay, now you don't have to play it fast to make it sound good. In fact, I prefer it to play it slower. But let's talk about what's happening. The first thing is minor third to major third, and there's my second inversion triad again. 1 triplet and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And the way you're going to get this is, yes, you could play it with the quarter note bass line. You could go, or you could play with the 8th note bass line. But I actually want to show you with the trio version. Sounds great, especially with the bass player down there on the bottom. But when you break this lick down, it's just like the previous lick. The way we get things like this is we isolate, we break it down. So this is something I'm going to practice. It may take you 5 minutes, a week, a month, a year, or longer. But you will get this if you practice isolating and get used to that minor third to major third sliding third finger to third finger, and outlining the chord. So the step one is this. And then it goes to the 4 chord of the C blues, which is F and A. And then it goes back to the C chord, minor third to major third. So let's isolate that. That's section 1. 1, triplet, and 2, and 3, and. So there's my C chord, and then I go 6, 5, root. Let me do that again. And if I'm actually doing it the way it's written on your PDF, it's this. 1, triplet, and. Second part. All right, you get it. Let's go ahead and turn on the track because we have so much more to cover. This is not a teaching video where everything is super in detail. It's more of an overview because I told you guys I'm going to do all 12 licks in a short amount of time. So let me go ahead and check the chat. Good to see you, Felipe. I hope I had that right. Let me go ahead and hit, let's go to example 3. Okay. Example 3 does this, minor third to major third. Well, what a theme we have going on here. 5th of C, and then you do minor third to major third, so you get used to sliding in that again. Now, what am I doing right here? I have my G octave from our C chord, and I do minor third to major third once again. So we have 1 and 2 and 3 triplet and. And then I end with the C6 again. I love that feel right there. 1 and kind of a down home blues kind of feel. I love that. So I could do this with the C9 since we have a band with us with our track. 1. Okay, let's turn on the track and just play a little music with that. A 2, a 1, 2. So let's just kind of get used to this. And do the same thing on F. All right, now, what I would practice is isolating. And notice that when I get to here, I pick up my hand. I'm actually not pick it up much, but I keep this shape right here. And then I come back down, minor third to major third. And I do the C6 lick at the end. All right, that covers our first 3 licks. You're doing great, everyone. Let's go ahead and pull up the next chart. Okay, example 4. Oh, this one. This was just a little nod to Charlie Parker and the bebop stuff. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this one. This is more of a jazz introduction of some kind. I don't even know why I originally put this in the course. Again, these were done in, I want to say, 2017, 18, and it was just maybe a reminder of the idea of the introduction of sort of bebop and minor third to major third, but with a little bit of a jazz twist. So the main lick is this: 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1. Da, 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 da. So the main thing is this, da, 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 da. And we actually put it with your bass line, so it was like this. So I think the reason I originally did this is because we've been doing so many minor third to major third, but even this idea of da 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 is a great blues idea. Even when I go to the F chord, I can just go change the E to E flat. And it's just really neat the way it all connects together. Blues often works with jazz. Jazz often works with blues. Okay, let's keep going down the list here. We have this right here, which is probably one of the most fun dissonant chords that we have. It's a C7 sharp 9 chord. You have 3, flat 7, 9, right? And at first, and this is over just a C. We're doing this whole chorus over a boogie woogie pattern. So this is a lot of tension where you go. Actually, the last one will be short, and 3 and 4. Kind of has the like a train sound, right? Trains coming by. Dun, and then the other part of this lick goes the fourth note. Da, 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 da. Now, I've been doing a lot of teaching where we slide up like with the Ray Charles stuff, but there's also a crunch onto that tritone, so C up to F sharp. That's another really important skill, is to get used to crunching on notes as well. And I think finger 3 to 4 is fine. So you go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And then when it goes to the next line, I actually have F13 and does the same thing. So that's a fun little dissonant challenge there, right there. All right, and let's go to example 6. I can't believe we're already at 6. Let's count these up again just to make sure I didn't miss anything. All right, the first one is 3 licks in 1, example 1. Example 2 was our cool... Yeah, one thing I didn't demonstrate that I need to go back and do is on blues example 2, this lick right here. Let me practice that slowly with the track, because I told you guys that I actually prefer to play it a little slower, and I can't remember if I did that. So instead of, which works, I also like to play it really slow and do. You get it. All right, let me stop this, and let's go back to the teaching lesson. All right, so let's count these up again. I'm very thankful for my team who over the years has continued to help me create really nice courses. I couldn't do this by myself, and I'm very thankful for those who've helped me really make them nice. We are continually trying to up our game. Clickable indexes take you right to whatever you're working on, and the videos, you just click the camera icon and it takes you right to the teaching lesson. Let's just click to one and I'll show you what I'm talking about. And it shows you exactly where we are, and I would turn this up. So anyway, very cool the way we have that. All right, so that was example 1. Example 2 is the lick that I just demonstrated. Example 3 is this. Example 4 is the bebop lick. Example 5 was the crunchy dissonant sharp 9 chord, which that's kind of a Hendrix type chord. I love that. It has the crunch to go along with it. That's a lot of fun. Now we get to example 6, which is another super important fun thing. It's the top half of the blues scale. If you have a C minor blues scale, C, E flat, F, F sharp, G, B flat, C, and you can play that up and down. But if you just go to the top note, so you have the first 5 notes, makes our first little shape or pattern that I like to teach. And then as you cross under, you put your thumb on G. Then that opens up the next set of fingering that I love for you guys to do is G, B flat, C, and E flat. That is the top half of the blues scale. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and da 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 da. So this is a triplet. 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4 and then 1, and we could do that for days. And any note that you play is going to work on any chord of the blues. The C blues, I just think of the minor third, not the minor third to major third, but the minor third being on the top. So if we just play the C blues scale and we go up here, we kind of we resolve on the C. But having that minor third on top creates some really nice tension. Let's actually turn on the track and I'll show you how that sounds. We're going to use our C9 in the left hand. If I play it right, here we go. Just works over the whole thing, even when I go to G. One more time. A little tritone. There's so many things you could do with just those 4 notes. It's crazy. It's crazy to think about how nice and easy that is. So it's up to you once you learn the 5 notes, or 4 notes in this case, and then you just make it your own. Whatever you want to do is going to work. All right, let's keep going down the list. Before I do, I have to say this. So that's with the trio voicing. With the left hand, this is really important. I cannot just not tell you this. And that is this. If you're doing the 8th note bass line, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then 1 and then 2. It's the way you count is so important here. Everything can be locked up if you count in triplets in this example. So as I'm doing my 8th note bass line, I do 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4, and this is how it locks up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then right here, 1 and then 1 and then. The first 2 notes is with the first part of the 8th note, 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4. So even the very first 6, or the first 6 licks of this thing, you could just sit here for days and do this. You get it. Okay, let's keep moving along. I love taking small amounts of material and building on it and adding to our vocabulary list. All right, let's see. Somebody else. What's up, James? James, are you actually new here? That is so awesome. Well, I'm glad to have you. Both of you are new to me on this live stream, so I'm glad to see you. Both of you. All right, so that takes us through 6 of these licks. All right, now the next one. Oh, this next one, guys. All right, James, awesome. So this next lick, we're going to call this an old school, an oldie but goodie. So if my bass line is our 8th notes, and I do this, and you can actually go up with the lick as well. And sometimes I'll be on a jazz gig, and I'll just play something like this. And people love that kind of stuff. I love it too. Let's talk about how you actually do this. As I do, if I'm in the key of C, and there's my C7, and I do, the top note is A, and then your minor third to major third. Okay, so from a visual standpoint, watch this. I do C, E, G, and A. That's a C6 chord. 1 of a C scale, 3, 5, and 6. And in my right hand, I'm going to go minor third to major third. And notice that when I do that, I'm doing the C chord, E and G. So E flat A to G, E and G, and then I do my thumb on C. So you notice how, from a visual standpoint, I get to the C chord. There it is right there. And then I cross over, and I do, with my thumb, I go A flat and D. So it's like, I visualize that as the sharp 5 of the C scale. And then I go A minor there. So I'm still thinking about this C6 lick, and I go here. Let me put it together again. Step 1 is get to the flat third and the 6th note. There's my C chord. Cross over, and I'm looking for the sharp 5 of C major. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sharp it. And my 2nd note of the scale. And then I just come down to A and C, which is part of this C6 lick. And then I end with the G note. And then it starts over. So I could go over this whole thing doing like this. But this lick is just written out like this. Or you can do it in triplets as well. Or I can go. That is a little bit difficult just to say, hey, here's how to play it. But the way I like to teach it is this. It's to Felipe, to James, and to Vicky. You know this. Vicky is a member of our Blues Academy, and so happy to see you again on a training today. But we did this right here, James and Felipe, is it minor third to major third to A. So you have this. This is step one. We have to break it down. Da-da-bum, step one. E flat, A, and there's my C chord. And then I work on that for a while, and then I cross over and say, can I get to that A flat and D? And then I go from here, fingering 2-5 to 2-4, and then 1. All right, so more about that later. And if somebody wanted to actually watch that, they would click the course, and it shows you exactly how to watch it. It's the same, or how to do it. 2 and 5, and I'm going to slide once again from my G sharp to my A now, and then my forefinger goes to C, and then my thumb literally goes to the 5th. See, so my teaching style hasn't changed. These courses were created in this one was created in 2018, volume 2. I absolutely love it. All right, awesome, James, very cool. Okay, so now let's keep moving down the list. I'm going to go back here to the PDF, and we're almost done, guys. Okay. Let's get down to, I think we're at number 7. No, we're at 8. All right, example 8. Now, this is a lot of fun because this is a little bit different. We have this kind of sound. Let's see. So what I love about this one is it has a different sound to it, doesn't it? It's a B-flat triad in second inversion, my favorite second inversion triad. And then notice what happens. I go down a half step, ba, 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 and then I come up to a D minor in second inversion, ba, C in second inversion, B-flat in second inversion, A minor in second inversion, G minor in second inversion, F in second inversion, and then I go da, 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 da. Let me do that again. I didn't even realize that this lick was all second inversion triads because I forgot about this lick being in here. You have. And then at the very end, I decided to somewhat resolve it by going to B flat, E, and G, which is the C7 chord. So a couple of ways that I would practice that, James and Felipe, is I would actually say, all right, there's my B flat, ba, ba, da, ba. Isn't that just a nice sound, like that suspended kind of hanging sound? And what I mean by suspended, normally C up to G would be your resolution, but when you do this kind of sound, D minor, you have a really awesome gospel kind of sound. And in our academy, we've been working on the gospel moves lately. So you have this idea that most people understand that if you have a C chord and you're doing a gospel type thing, you can go C and then your D minor in first inversion, then C in first inversion, D root, this kind of sound. So whenever you hear somebody go like, that D minor gives you a little suspension, doesn't it? And it sounds really nice. Nice little suspended kind of sound. So when I practice this, and then over on F, I actually just demonstrate how to play it on the F chord. All right, let's keep moving down. That's such a fun thing. Awesome that you hear it, James. That's really exciting to know that. Okay, the next one. This, example 9, is so super easy, but it is very important. So at our Blues Academy, you guys know we have our beginning blues sheet. So it's not just like, let me demonstrate with the track on. Our beginning blues sheet, which is just a simple training, would be this. Is we start with our warm-ups of the first 5 notes of the blues scale. And you can go up and down. And like this morning, we did this and we said how you can take those notes. just with 5 notes, you're going to sound like $1,000,000, right? And we did licks like this. So if you just have the first 5 notes of the blues scale, you're going to sound fantastic no matter what notes you're playing. But to take it to the next level is if you go down whatever key you're in, you go down 3 half steps. Now I'm in A and I do the first 4 notes of the A blues scale. That also sounds like $1,000,000. No matter which note you play, the A blues scale is going to sound amazing. So we had this. And 2 and 3, play a little and rest a little. And you could go for days, whatever you wanted to do, it's going to sound great. But this idea took the idea of using the first 4 notes of the A blues scale and then just adding a little bit of spice to it by doing the sort of a hint at the jazz language where you go bo da 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 bo da da, and then it does da ba bo da 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 da. That right there is what we call an enclosure in jazz. And the reason why we decided to do that at first was this. The idea of that is all those notes are going to sound great, and then right here, instead of that minor third that we're always doing, you give it a little resolution, which still gives you the minor third, the major third, and I love the sound of this. And all I did is 3 5 4 2 3, a very common jazz thing, and then I go 6 5. But here's your tip for James, Felipe, and Vicky. You guys know, if you're ever not feeling bluesy, you're not feeling in the mood, or maybe you're not getting the sound you want, I always go to the flat 7 as one option. So I go to flat 7 of C, and you could actually combine that. You could go. All I was doing is going da 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 da, right? Minor third to major third. So I got 2 of the things I wanted to hear out. I'm not feeling bluesy, and I'd go flat 7 da da. Let me turn the track and demonstrate what I mean by that. How in the world am I going to condense this video down to a 20-minute video? I don't even know. 1 2, and I go. Minor third to major. There's that trick again, A blues scale. Now how about G chord? All right, let me stop that. I'm having too much fun, so I need to keep, let's focus. All right, now that was example 9. We only have 1 more to go. All right, example 10. Example 10 is definitely old school, but so good. If you have this one, and then you throw in this, there's so much in that one idea. It kind of is that old, what's the song, like Sunrise Serenade? old school lick, but still full of information. If I do the ninth up to the minor third to major third, 1, 2, 1, 3, 5, 3, 5, 4, 2. And then I do the triplet. Once again, I'm working on putting all this together. Right here is where the magic happens. I go ba-da-ba, B flat D, E, A, C, D. I'm walking it down. G, B flat, C, F, B flat, walking it down, and I end on the G, C triad in second inversion. Imagine that. All right. So this lick right here is such a fun old school lick. I love these kinds of licks. I don't have time to break that down, but you know what I'm wanting you to do is take it one step at a time. Okay, now the very last thing that we'll talk about is when it comes to a lick like this, is to practice walking it down, right? Second inversion triad. Now, how are you going to put all of this together, right? I've given you a lot of information. One way you're going to do it is by picking one specific lick. I always like to say, all right, let's break it down into something that we can use the play along track and stick with it. So this first lick right here, I'm going to practice just the first measure. So I'll turn on my track one more time and demonstrate a good practice session. And then we'll just talk for a minute as we wrap this up. Here we go, 3 and 4 and. Sometimes I'll practice this kind of thing and go up a half step just to make sure I can do that hammer on of the minor third to major third. F and back to C. And now we're coming up to G. All right, now let's put the second part of the lick. Just that first two parts. Next part. All right, now I'm going to give you one more bonus tip. Something that we've been doing in our Blues Academy is if you have the first 5 notes of the blues scale. This is a Red Garland, which is an incredible musician. I love the music of Red Garland, and even in his blues and his style, sometimes he would do where he mimics the right hand and the left hand. So if you're playing this voicing, and you just play the notes of the C blues scale up and down and mimic the left hand, or kind of play the same thing together. Let me demonstrate that, and then we'll wrap it up for today. Here we go. So first, you might just want to start with the octave and just do C to E flat. And 2 and 3. Now G. Here we go. Let's go all the way up. We're gonna go. How about you can do like that if you want to. Let's do that again. Here we go. 3, 4, and. Even on G. Or just stay on C and maybe E flat and down to B flat. Last one. Here we go. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3. That was wrong. All right, let me stop that. Enough of that. All right, guys, I hope that you've had a great time. Let me say goodbye to everyone. Awesome. James, I don't know if you're still here, Felipe. Thank you for joining. I hope I have your name pronounced right. And Vicky, of course, thank you for being here today. We did it. Here's the plan is I'm going to edit all this down into a shorter video, if that's even possible. I'm trying to decide if I should just leave this up and edit it down. What do you guys think? Or should I just get rid of this one? All right. This is not a paid advertisement, but I'm going to tell you, we have a really awesome community for anybody interested in finding out more about it. If you told me, hey, yeah, I'd like to be a part of community, but I'm a little like, what are you even talking about? I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. It's bob@imusicacademy.com or bobtaylormusic@gmail.com. But what we do is every Monday and every Thursday, I go live just like I'm doing right now, and we have basically, if you're a member of our Blues Academy, it's blues, it's jazz, it's Ray Charles, it's everything you could think of, every kind of blues artist that you could think of. And we do licks, we go through the courses, sheet music on everything. It's an amazing community. Forget about all the teaching. It's people from ages to like, I have a few young students that have access to my courses, but it's mostly people, honestly, from 40s all the way up to 90s. And it's such a fun community, and they're very supportive with each other. And ultimately, it's like an investment of one lesson with me a month. I do teach privately, but I prefer to have this community-driven thing. We have so much fun. It's all behind the scenes. It's unlisted, all the videos. But I just wanted to show you guys, here's what we do. This is the way I teach. I love to connect. I love to connect with people, and I'm just being totally transparent when I say this, is that I have people that pay me lessons, weekly lessons, and I do private one-on-one instruction. I love it. I wouldn't change a thing. I only pay exactly what I would charge, or they pay me what I would expect to pay if I was taking one lesson from somebody. And it's a monthly investment, and you get everything. Full transparency. You get all courses. You get our technique stuff. You get 2 lessons a week minimum with me every week. And it's an awesome community. I absolutely love it. They have to tell me, all right, it's time to shut it down now. We have a 30-minute lesson on Monday morning and an hour, no longer than an hour, on Thursdays. So anyway, thank you, James, for hanging out. Thank you, Vicky. And if anybody wants access to this resources and you have no interest in being a member, that's fine too. You don't have to be a member. I hope you enjoy this content, but if you just want to get the course, you can, I've made them 50% off. They're older courses. The volume 1 was done in 2016, volume 2 in 2018, and we go volume up to 4, 5. It's so many courses that we've done, but the most important thing is the community. And if you're thinking about becoming a member, don't get the 50% off for the courses. Just invest in one lesson for the month, and you could say, hey, this isn't for me. And if you hated everything and you wanted your money back, I would give you that. I'm looking to finding the right people because I love to teach. All right, that's enough. James, thank you. Vicky and Felipe, thank you so much. I'll see you guys in the next video. And just like always, you have 20 seconds to say goodbye to your friends in the chat. I'll see you soon.